I was kicked out of school for a crib I didn't write. They wanted peace, but instead they got a war. Jayda Williams, the black girl from the farm they tried to break because they were afraid I was too smart. The principal, the developer, the school board, they thought they would shut me up. But instead, they woke up the whole town. And I'm going to show you how one truth can destroy an empire of lies. My name is Jayda Williams, 17 years old. I'm a senior in high school. University applications are ready. The scholarship is almost in my pocket. Top student, daughter of a farmer, a black girl. And it was this last one that became a danger. In the morning, I was competing in an inter-school debate tournament. 7 wins in a row. The audience gave me a standing ovation. I was congratulated by a scholarship committee from the University of Texas. In the afternoon, they were waiting for me in the principal's office. I opened the door, and there was Mr. Stone, the principal, with his suit buttoned up to his neck and a look on his face that I've only seen in movies where someone is thrown out of the system. "Sit down," he said without getting up. I sat down, not looking away. "This was found in your locker." He put a sheet of answers for tomorrow's history exam on the table. "It's not mine," I said immediately. "You are responsible for the contents of your locker. Someone could have put it there on purpose. We have a zero-tolerance policy. We cannot allow anyone to jeopardize the academic integrity of the school, especially during the scholarship period." His eyes were blank. He had already made his decision. "Are you expelling me?" "Yes," with immediate effect. I didn't cry. I got up, took my backpack, and left the office. In the corridor, I met Nick Harper, the son of David Harper, the head of the development company that had been hunting for our land for years. He lost to me in a debate. His future in politics was destroyed on the stage, where I proved that his arguments were sand. "I'm sorry I won't see you at graduation," he said. There was gloating in his voice. "You laugh, but only one of us had to put a piece of paper to win," I replied as I walked by. He fell silent. My mom met me at the school entrance. Her hands were covered in dirty gloves because she had just come from the field. "What happened?" she asked. "We got expelled," I answered. We were silent on the way home in the pickup truck. The dust from under the wheels hung in the air. I stared at the field lines, smooth and clear, like everything we had built over the years. "They're afraid of you, Jade," she finally said, "because they can't control you. They can't buy you. But they can destroy you, if you let them." At home, I sat on the porch, my backpack in my hands, anger in my head. I was not kicked out. I was suspended, because I won where they didn't want to lose. I took my laptop and opened the school system. I started checking logins, accesses, journals, everything that was left of my account. Something had to be there. I was looking for it because I knew the cheat sheet hadn't been planted on me by accident. That evening, I received a text from Ms. Jackson, my debate coach. She knew it was a trap. It wasn't the first time, she wrote. Last year there was a similar situation, but without evidence. "Do you have anything on them?" I asked. "I have copies of internal reports for the last 3 years. But I can't act alone. They'll get fired." I looked at the reports and realized that I was not alone. And more importantly, they have a weakness. They believe that we will not unite, that we are afraid, that we don't have the resources. I entered the password to my father's old account. He used to work in the municipality before he left politics after another incident with the land. "Either we keep quiet or we do it publicly," I told my mother, showing her the data. "Then we tell the truth." Out loud. That was the day I was officially expelled. And the day I decided that if they were afraid of my voice, then it was time to scream to the whole world. The next morning, I woke up not just kicked out of school, I was a target. But now I knew the most important thing. It wasn't just about me. It was about a system that was afraid when a black girl was smarter than their sons. I went to see Ms. Jackson. She was waiting for me in a small office at the community center. I was holding a flash drive. "This is all I was able to copy before they took away my access," she said. "Watch for yourself. But be careful." I inserted the flash drive into my laptop. The files: report on academic discipline _2022, list of grade changes _privileged students, anonymous complaints _not considered. I opened the first one and my heart sank. All cases of disciplinary action for the last 3 years, 92% were Black or Latino students. Of those, 60% were expelled. And hey, race the worst part. Most of them had high grades, were actively involved in school life, and were the children of landowners. "They are purposely cleansing us," I whispered. Ms. Jackson nodded. "With every person expelled, another farm is sold. Then there's the development. A quick profit. No resistance. My brain was boiling. I called Raymond, a friend from a neighboring school, an IT guy with hands of gold. I need to check the school server. I'm already there, he replied. After you got kicked out, I started digging. And you won't believe this. I found the backup logs. Someone went into your locker the day before the find. And there's video. Can you save it? I've already sent it to your email. And there's something else. Nick Harper seems to have special access to the grade change system. His father is one of the school's major donors. Is that a coincidence? I opened the video. 3 guys in hoods. One of them is definitely Nick. They're laughing, opening my locker, putting a piece of paper in it. The camera has no sound, but the sign language is clear. Now let's see how you win the university. I clench my fists. They are sure that their world is untouchable. Until the first publication, Raymond replied. At home, my mom was cooking dinner, but she was silent. She was always like that. Silence hides the storm. We're in trouble, I said, and it's deeper than I thought. I know, she said without turning around. Your grandfather was kicked out of school, too. In 1968, because he was the first black finalist in the biology Olympiad. And what did he do? He built a farm. And he made a promise. This land will remain Williams. I realized that this is not just about exile. This is about what they have been doing to us for generations. And this time, I will not let them win. The next day, I gathered Raymond, Ms. Jackson, and several other students who had also been affected by the school's strange decisions. We have videos, documents, statistics, I said, but if we speak out alone, we will be erased. We need a platform. Ms. Jackson nodded. I know a reporter. She used to be a student of mine. Now she works for an independent news platform. You can't buy her. Make an appointment, I said. Well, show how Glenmont is throwing away smart kids to sell their land. And this time, no one will be silent. I knew there was no going back. After the publication, it was all or nothing. In the evening, we met with a journalist. Her name was Mika Sanders, short, with a sharp look and a recorder in her hand, as if it were part of her body. Speak directly, she said, without filters. I want the truth. I showed her the video of Nick planting the cheat sheet. I showed her screenshots from the grading system, where his average C magically turned into an A+. Now look at this, Raymond chimed in. These students are black or Latino. All expelled, all with excellent grades. And now look where their families are now sold the land, moved away, disappeared. Mika nodded silently. Do you know who bought their land? I opened the map, Harper Development. The owner is David Harper, Nick's father. The same one who finances the school and is building a new shopping center on this land. It's not just discrimination, Mika said. It's a scheme. A system, I clarified. I'm not an exception. I'm just another one. She took everything. Flash drives, documents, testimonies. And before she left, she asked me, are you ready to be hated after this even by those who silently supported you? I'm not fighting for their sympathy, I answered. I'm fighting for justice. 3 days later, the story exploded. The headlines, expelled because you are dangerous? How the system removes those who threaten its comfort, land, grades, and blackmail. The dark side of the school elite. The school was silent. Principal Stone disappeared from the public space. But the calls started coming in. Parents of other students wrote to me. Thank you. My daughter felt it too. Now I understand why my son was expelled for disorderly conduct that no one saw. We are with you. But there were others. Threats. You have ruined the reputation of the school. Shut your mouth before it's too late. A farm is a good place for an accidental fire. My mom immediately saw that something was wrong. They don't like it when you break the rules of their game, she said. But we're sticking with it. We installed cameras. Ray took care of the cyber defense. Ms. Jackson moved in with us after someone vandalized her apartment. No one believed it was an accident. And then the school announced an official press conference. I turned on the broadcast. Stone was standing behind the podium, looking fake serious. All the accusations are baseless. We care about every student. Ms. Williams has a personal agenda. I laughed. Personal motives? To be expelled and destroyed? Interesting logic. But then it got serious. The school board announced that I was stealing personal information, hacking into the system, and that I could be prosecuted. Ray looked at me. They are playing all in. Either we are them or they are us. That same evening, a black Jeep appeared near the farm. The driver didn't get out. He just sat there and watched. For an hour. 2 hours. Mom took a shotgun. Aren't you going to get scared? She asked. Not now. Because I know that silence is more dangerous than risk. At night I received a call. The number was hidden. The voice was female, low. Jade, listen carefully. It's not you they're going to attack. It's your land. The deeds are already forged. They're going to try to take over the farm because of a tax debt. Who are you? I used to work with David Harper, and am ashamed. Why are you helping? Because my sister will be next. The line went dead. I've gathered my mom, Ray, Ms. Jackson. If they are going through taxes, we will raise all the documents. If it's the system, we're going to court. If they planned it, we will show it on camera. She added, if they hit our land, we will turn it into a bastion. We will not lose a single centimeter. At dawn, tax inspectors arrived. Without warning. Without a warrant. Men in dark blue jackets with seals on their backs. One of them had a folder in his hand and didn't even get out of the car. Your plot is registered as a debt property, he said. That's a mistake. Mom held up the receipts like a shield. We've paid for everything. Every last cent. You have 3 days to appeal. Then it will be confiscated. He left an official piece of paper on the mailbox and left without even explaining where the debt came from. 3 days. I could hardly contain myself. They want to confront us with the fact. Just like with everyone else. Ray and Ms. Jackson got right to work. We scanned every tax document for the last 5 years. We compared them with the databases. And we found it. Someone had changed the bank data in the city system. Payments were made, but they were not recorded as paid. The system forgot that we had paid. It was a cyber switch, Ray said, and only someone from the city council could have done it. Harper, said Mom, he has people in the municipality. I made a statement on camera, right from my veranda. They are stealing our land through fake debts, and they have done it more than once. But this time, we will not remain silent. This is our line of defense, our frontier, and we will not give up. The video garnered hundreds of thousands of views in a day. The local news was forced to run the story. The next morning, a man in a suit stood on our doorstep. He was a representative of Harper Development. He brought a peaceful offer. We are ready to resolve everything without conflict. You will just sign the land transfer and receive monetary compensation. I laughed. Your people have just called our land a debt. And now you are offering money? We just want to settle the situation, he said, like a predator smiling before it bites. Tell your boss, Mom said, that the Williams farm is not for sale. It never will be. You're making a big mistake. And you made an even bigger one when you thought you could intimidate us. That same day we received a summons to appear in court. An urgent hearing. The reason, establishing the fact of tax arrears. The trial was in 48 hours. Without a lawyer, we were a target. And then Michael Stewart, an old friend of my late father, a lawyer from Houston, came back. I saw your video, Jade. If you let me, I'll defend your land. For free. This is personal. The courtroom was as quiet as a storm. 3 of Harper's lawyers are against us. Today, we will prove, the chief of them began, that Mrs. Williams was a tax evader and her daughter was engaged in subversive activities. But Michael stepped forward calmly. Dear court, we provide original bank transactions, payment confirmations, and evidence that the system was manually changed from the administrative account. And also, he added, a video with the testimony of a former employee of the city council who admitted that he had worked under pressure from Harper Development. The judge was silent for several seconds. All charges were dropped. And I recommend that the applicants reconsider their business practices. The hammer has fallen. We won the case. But we didn't have time to celebrate. An hour after the court decision, we received a call from a local newspaper. Harper is going to the Capitol. He was planning a press conference. He says you threatened him. He wants to file a counterclaim. It's their last resort, Ms. Jackson said, to smear you. To make you look like the aggressor, not the heroine. I knew what to do. That evening we launched a big online conference. Tens of thousands of people watched me, my mom, Ray, Michael, and other victims live. We posted all the evidence, videos, documents, testimonies. And I ended with these words. They are afraid of the truth because the truth is not amenable to development. It is not for sale. It does not remain silent. The next morning, journalists blocked the entrance to our farm. After our broadcast, the whole state watched us. Television, bloggers, lawyers, activists, everyone wanted to know, how did a black girl from a farm destroy a multi-million-dollar scheme? But I didn't celebrate. I knew that those who lose publicly do not always give up quietly. At 3 a.m, the sound of a car woke me up. My mom and I looked out and saw a familiar black SUV. The driver didn't get out. He just put a folder on the porch. Inside was a photo. It was mine, of my mom, Ray's, even Miss Jackson's, and a note. If you don't stop, we'll stop you. I showed it to Michael. He just sighed. This is their final stage. When they can't win, they intimidate. We're going to pass this on to federal agents. And we will launch a case against Harper. At the same day's press conference, Harper looked calm. I was slandered, he said. This is a campaign against small business, against the stability of the city. But the journalists were not silent. How do you explain the video where your company receives land after expelling students? And why were the tax payments of black farmers systematically removed? Is it true that your son was in cahoots with the school principal? His face grew duller with each question. And a few hours after the broadcast, it hit the fan. The FBI officially opened a case. Suddenly, dozens of witnesses came forward. Teachers, former municipal employees, even the school security guard. Everyone was afraid to speak up until they saw the system cracking. Principal Stone was the first to be arrested. They found documents in his home with signatures that falsified expulsions for violations created retroactively. He was followed by Harper. And 3 members of the city council were arrested with him. Searches, seizure of equipment, and public shaming. The city, which had been silent for years, finally woke up. But for me, it all started not in court or on TV. It started in the field. A farm. Dry ground under my feet. The footprints of my grandfather, who once promised, this land will not become asphalt as long as one Williams breathes. I stood next to my mom while volunteers and neighbors helped rebuild what was destroyed. The foundation that Michael and I launched, Farm Family Defense, has already received more than 300 applications. People across the country have started to speak up. Not to be afraid. To act. Ray opened a website where you could check your land to see if it was in the scheme. In the first week, he had 150,000 visits. And Ms. Jackson? She became the head of the new State Board of Education. And the first thing she did was to abolish the system of selective expulsion. I will no longer allow children to be afraid to be smart, she said at her first speech, especially those who are most likely to be silenced. And me? I received an official apology. All the universities that had once refused to invite me have now invited me. But I chose something else. I stayed. Because the fight is not where it is convenient. It is where it is needed. We created a center on our farm called the Voice of Generations. Those who were expelled teach there. They teach not only math or history. They also teach law, self-defense, and memory. When people ask me, aren't you afraid they'll come back? I answer, they never left. They just changed their masks. But this time we are looking them straight in the eye. They kicked me out to shut me up. But I started talking. And now there are thousands of us.